welcome South Philly's own, fresh out of Chicky and Pete's herself, Miss Eleanor Kerrigan. Eleanor, welcome finally to Totally Driven Radio.
Finally, Totally Driven Radio. Terrific.
How
are
me.
You?
Good.
I should.
You scare me.
No, I'm kidding.
I know.
Why? Because I'm in South Philly?
Well, yeah, you're in South Philly. But no, actually, I saw you and Dice at the TLA. I guess it was about 2 years ago.
Oh, yeah. That was terrific. I love that show.
It was a great show, and that was the first time I got to see or hear any of your act, and I was taken back. I was like, wow, she's raunchier than Dice.
Don't tell my mother. She gets very upset. Why do you have to talk like that? I learned it in the streets. Did you know that there's a play, too, right next to Chicky and Pete?
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm in the parking lot. Yeah.
Are you really?
Yeah, my niece just got done performing, so I came out. She just finished right now.
Yeah, I was going to say, I didn't know they had, musical artists there.
I guess it's like DJs. It's usually like a nightclub, and so my niece sings like that dance music, and she has a couple singles out right now, but she has a brand new one that she just is going to release, or it has released. I kind of suck at live, so I don't know if it's out already, but she just performed it live right now. There's like a big, private, nice thing going on here.
Well, what's her name?
So it's good.
You want to plug
her name is Nicole Kerrigan. Yeah, Nicole Kerrigan. You can check her out anytime. She's really, really good. And she's 22. You know, I mean, if I paid attention in life and was doing what she was doing at 22, that would be great. Instead, I was messing shit up. So.
Now, does she turn to you?
A raunchy comic. Huh?
Does she turn to her aunt, the raunchy comic, for, entertainment advice?
Yeah, she does, which scares me. I'm like, oh, boy. You might want to reconsider. Yeah, but you know, I mean, I come from a big family. I have 6 brothers and 3 sisters. So, I always ran with my brothers. I didn't even know I was a girl until, a week ago. I'm not that's not my thing. You know what I mean? So I learned how to talk and act from them. So it's they would make me listen to Pryor and Eddie Murphy and Dice, and I'd be like, oh, this is how everybody talks. Okay.
That's how I learned. Logical to me, you know.
Sure.
Now,
especially in a crazy household like that. They saw him at the Spectrum twice, my brother. I never even
really?
went. Mhm. Yeah.
Wow. Now, I mean, you're one of 10 kids. How does this happen in South Philly? How do you fit in one house? And I said this at the beginning of our show when we were talking you up, and then my co-host Nick, he drops on me and goes, "You know, I'm one of 11 kids, right?" I'm like, "What?"
Wait, go Nick. He didn't have cable either. All right. Are you Irish, Nick, or Italian?
No, actually, Irish and Filipino.
So, how'd that happen? Did your parents meet at the DMV? Holy shit. Irish and
there's a lot of alcohol
Filipino.
involved. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, at least you got some pigment in there, so that works.
Right.
Anything's better than that white Irish. It's too white. Is this a clean radio show? Am I not allowed to curse?
No. You can say whatever you want.
Okay, I got nervous because I already said shit.
Now, I was thinking, too, coming from South Philly, by chance, did you go to, St. Monica's growing up?
St. Richard's. Close.
St. Richard's. Okay.
My parents grew up in St. Monica's Parish. My dad had a typewriter store on 20th and Porter. Very lucrative business. Maybe you're familiar with it? You guys have typewriters, right? Is that how we're connecting right now?
That's how we're
typewriter?
connecting, yes. I have to change my ribbon. Hold on.
Yeah, I can do that for you. I'm excellent at it. I worked for him my whole life. Made no money, by the way. But he had a place at 20th and Porter, St. Monica's Parish. I guess it's called Girardeau State. Girardeau State is more that area.
Okay. Because I had family that grew up over in St. Monica's Parish, and I was thinking to myself, wow, like when I would like a lot of times, like because my parents, they moved from South Philly to Upper Darby back when Upper Darby was like the thing, and so I grew up in Upper Darby, and on weekends a lot of times I would come and spend weekends down at my cousins, and they had cable. I didn't have cable in Upper Darby, but
they were getting it illegally.
Right. Yeah, they had the bullet in the back to get the cable.
It's the best. These kids are rich. No, they're thieves.
So I taught my cousin, like, yeah, you know, Sunday church, you don't have to go. Like, our parents would give us the envelopes to go put in the basket and all, and I would say, no, we're going to go, like, to the 7-Eleven down on Oregon Avenue and play Pac-Man and Donkey Kong and stuff, and that's what we used to do.
The best. The
How
one close to like Carlisle and Oregon, right? It's no longer there. That was my favorite one.
It's like a car place now.
It's like it's a bore. I used to steal a lot of stuff out of there. And then we'd save the church money to buy cigarettes.
How about that? See that?
It's pretty terrible, I know. So you didn't teach them that. They taught you that, right?
They educated me.
Yes, they smartened you up. But then you know what they don't tell you is all that money you're spending, that church money, they go back to your parents and tell you didn't put it in there. That's how tight they are. They know what's coming.
Yeah.
I never knew that. I was like, what? How did you know I spent that money? They charged my mother. They said you never put in. They charged her for every kid. How crazy is that? $2 adds up after a couple Sundays, man.
Yeah, especially with all the kids you had in your family.
And 10 kids, they robbed us, man.
Now, were you a lady wrestler?
Interesting that you put lady in front of it. I like your choice of words. But I was a wrestler, yes.
No,
and it's funny because... Yeah, because you go on a lot of auditions, you know, stupid stuff all the time, different things. And I remembered this audition specifically, and I was like, why am I getting the shittiest audition? You know, when you have to go to an audition and it's at a hotel, you're doing it wrong. It's not going to be promising, you know. So we were making fun. I was working as a waitress at the Comedy Store in L.A., and I told my friends. It was like Joe Rogan and a bunch of other comics and waitresses sitting around. And I told him what I was going to audition for, and he's like, you got to go. You got to go, and you got to come up with a character that's so stupid. So we stayed up all night goofing around, came up with a character. I went, and they hired me. I did not I thought they were going to throw me out of the audition. I was doing it for the goof. I didn't know I'd really get the part. And so I went, and then I was like, oh, shit, now I got to tell my mother. How am I going to tell my mother that her unladylike daughter went from street fighting to pro wrestling? Like, how am I going to do this? And so I called her, and I told her, and she was so happy. And I was like, really? And she's like, oh, my God, I'm so proud of you. They have great women characters on that show. And I'm like, what? So then I got home. And I was talking to her, and she goes, my sister Karen answered. When I called back, I go, wait, are you really proud of me? And it was my sister Karen. She goes, yo, you're going to be on West Wing? That's amazing. She thought I was going to be on the TV show West Wing instead of a wrestler. And I go, are you kidding me? Yeah, I was like, you know how hard it is to, because she told everybody in the 10 minutes it took me to get home from that audition. She told the whole family. So I had to tell, you know how hard it is to break the news. You're not going to be hanging out with Martin Sheen. You're going to have a woman with a mullet in a sleeper hold for 10 minutes. Wow. You know, I mean, she was like, you're kidding me. She wouldn't watch it. My dad advertised it in the typewriting store. So I'm surprised I didn't get bigger than a lot of people are buying typewriters and watching wrestling. I don't know if you're familiar.
Well,
but yeah, it was a TV show. It was a TV show. It was on in 2000, I think. I think it was 2000. maybe 2001. I don't remember. And it was so, hey man, it whipped my ass in shape. That's all I can say about it.
Well, the funny thing is, I am actually a retired professional wrestler, and
Ooh.
my first gimmick that I did in wrestling was a biker gimmick, and my name was Easy Rider, and so was yours.
Shut your mouth.
I swear to God.
That's my name, jackass. How did you feel my name?
I was Easy Rider from 1992 to 1995. And then I had a gimmick change, and I became one of the Dudley boys in ECW, and I was known as Chubby Dudley.
Didn't you love it?
How about that?
Wrestling? Or no?
I used to.
Yeah,
but after being
it.
in the business for 12 years, I learned to hate it.
I guess if I went longer than the 2 years I was in it, I'd get a little jaded. But for the 2 years I was in it, we had a lot of fun. And then, like, the crazy ladies that were, like, running it, they blew it. We did a pay-per-view event. The nerve of us to do a pay-per-view event. I think we were on TV for 2 weeks, 3 weeks. Like, who's watching that you're doing it? Who do you think that we're in such high demand that we can do a pay-per-view event? How dare you? So then that's when they lost all the money, and that was it.
Oh, that's funny.
That was
because when I saw that, I was like, I think it was on IMDb. I saw that, and I was like, get out of here! Are you
sad,
serious?
But that is one of my credits. Yeah. I remember I had a fake tattoo that said Easy Rider that they would put on my arm before every show, and then my niece, she was like maybe 7 or 8, and she would be like, I'm going to be little Easy Rider. So we had her, she was like getting fake tattoos, and then she kept them there, and she would tell her mother she was going to get it really in there like her Aunt Elle. And I was like, no, it's not real. Please don't follow in any of my footsteps. My footsteps are to be erased after. No one should ever follow in these footsteps. But she was going to get a real one, Little Easy Rider. I was like, please don't let her.
Oh, that's funny.
She's big into tattoos. Yeah. But it was fun, the wrestling. You did it for 12 years. That's crazy.
Yeah. And now I paid a price because now I feel like a cripple. And the scary part is I don't know how these other guys that are doing it for 20 and 30 years are still walking.
Oh, yeah.
I feel like shit. And I did it for 12.
Somebody said I should make the female version of that movie, The Wrestler. And I go, yeah, but mine's sadder because I became a comic. I would have been better off shooting up under a bridge. And may or may not. But that movie with those, I do comedy with Rowdy Piper.
Stop.
I've done stand-up shows with him
now?
in L.A. You believe he does
really?
stand-up now? Yeah, how cool is that? I love him.
I didn't know that.
Yeah,
wow.
He's been doing stand-up a while.
Really?
Mhm.
So I know Mick Foley does it too.
Yeah, Mick Foley does it a lot, but a great comic also from he's from Delco. Is that Upper Darby? No.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah, I guess so, yeah, huh? Well, he's from Delco. I always tease him because he's such a nice kid, but he's a really fun comic named Steve Simone, and he goes on tour with him because he does all these his whole thing is about being a kid and stuff, and watching wrestling and trying to. Hello?
What was that?
Are we calling somebody?
Hello?
Did we call somebody?
It's Adrian,
hey,
right?
How are you?
It was Adrian. He was still on the line.
Adrian, we could have had a three-way.
How about that? He hung up.
Pussy. But yeah, so Steve Simone goes on the road with him a lot. If Steve's ever in Philly, you should try to hit him up or whatever if you can get him to do it on the phone. He's great. He's so great. And he has a really cool podcast right now about, what's the name of it? I'm so bad with the names. But it's all about, fun things, silly things, stuff like that, wrestling, everything.
Huh. I'll have to check it out.
Yeah, Steve Simone, he's terrific. But he always teases his father would drive through South Philly and go, let's try to guess how many people. That's sweatpants and dress shoes to you, you little shit. Right now at my niece's show, there's like 30 guys in there with sweatpants and dress shoes. Always funny. Always
the
funny.
Sweatpants, they got the stripe going down the side too?
Of course.
Of course.
Of course. And then the nice little slip-ons.
Yeah, with no socks.
The best. The greatest people in the world. So what is this? This is a great little show, and so it's on the internet or it's on the radio. I don't even know.
Yeah, it's on the internet.
My brother John hooked it up.
Screw the radio. I mean, it's so, you know what I mean. This way we can reach the whole world. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, exactly.
Absolutely. I don't want to be limited just to Philly. I mean, we want to break out. So.
True.
But
you don't want to just be an Upper Darby. I should have come in the studio and wrestled you.
No.
He goes,
I'm retired. I am retired.
All right. That's
You'd
funny.
probably kick my ass. Easy Rider versus Easy Rider.
Yeah, right? I cannot wait to tell my mother. She's going to be so embarrassed. As per usual. But right now, all my brothers and sisters are in this place supporting my niece. Isn't that great?
Did she
perform
yet?
Yeah, she already did.
Okay.
But tomorrow night we'll all be in Atlantic City because I'm opening for Dice at the Golden Nugget over there.
Yeah, so now they're going to come and support you.
Yeah. So we just travel around in packs. People are afraid of us, and that's how it works out.
Now, the whole thing with Dice, I got to ask this because it baffles me. Now, you were engaged to Dice at one time.
That could be baffling.
Yeah.
Yes, I was engaged to Dice, and then I regained consciousness, and I got out of it.
But you guys are still, like, I guess, best friends.
No, he's like one of my best friends. Yeah. The thing is like he was going through a tough time. I was going through a tough time. We were already good friends. And then I couldn't even tell you how it happened. I really couldn't. We were really close friends because I was a waitress at the Comedy Store for years.
Right.
So I know, like, those are all my closest friends, like these amazing, crazy comics. And so we were tight, and then he went through a divorce, a really bad divorce, and he had the kids, and then we wound up getting together, and because of it, he got full custody of the kids, which is pretty impressive. And then for like 10 years, he just focused on raising the kids. You know,
right.
I mean, we were only together for like 4 or 5, I forget, but we stayed really close because I always helped out with the kids.
Right.
And so, I mean, now they're 24 and 19, or 20 and 24, about to be 20 and 24. So it's, you know, they're grown now, but it's just like, and they still live with him. And they have a great band called LA Rocks. If you ever look them up, they're amazing. So, yeah, they're actually going to be in AC with us.
Oh, cool.
And now he's married, Andrew Dice, and he's married. His wife is one of my best friends. And to make it even creepier, I date her uncle. So I'm now dating his uncle.
Okay. That's a whole interesting situation.
Yeah, you would think I moved to the South. No. Just South Los Angeles. That's the crazies.
Oh. Yeah, because I thought that, and I was even thinking, like, when I saw you guys that night at the TLA, I was saying to myself, I could have swore that she was engaged to Andrew at one time. And I was like, nah. And then when I went back and looked at it, I'm like, oh shit, like, yeah, like, but
we were engaged. Mm-hmm.
I guess this is the true proof that you guys are better as friends than you were as a couple.
Absolutely. Hey man, my parents split up when I was like 9, and they're close friends. Like we're just not those kind of people that hold grudges and get angry. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like shit don't work out, we get it, but we don't, have animosity or anything and just go after people. So we just, we're like, it's cool. He's your problem now. That's how I think of it. That's your problem.
I guess the Italian in me is I hold grudges, so I guess it's the Italian.
Yeah. I grew up in South Philly, so I know all about the Italian grudge holding. But even his wife is a great. The thing I remember best about that TLA show, the show was great, the crowd was great. I remember all that. My favorite part of it was when we were leaving and driving back to Manhattan, and we got Jim Steaks. That limo ride back to Manhattan was so good with Jim Steaks in hand. We were all so happy, like three little pigs in the back of a. Oh, and we got the limo driver a steak. He was very excited. Oh,
that's awesome. That is too funny.
That's what I remember most about that night, and so does his wife. He said that's when we're real foodies, like real junkies.
Food is such a
love
beautiful
Jim
thing.
Steaks. Hey, steaks are terrific.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's funny too because I had a few questions like I was going to end with, and I was going to say when you come back to Philly, which do you prefer, Pat's or Geno's? But I guess neither. It's Jim's.
You know what? It's either Jim's, Tony Luke's, or Phillips. Did you ever go to Phillips?
Ooh, 25th in Oregon.
Passion, or 25th in Passion.
Passion, yeah.
Killer right there. I mean, you got to watch over your shoulder while you're ordering the steak, but it's killer steaks right there.
It's funny because a buddy of mine, he's going through him and his wife are just recently separated, and he went to go see Kiss in Camden on Sunday, and he put up as a Facebook status, "Separation is fun, on train to see Kiss with a 6-pack of beer." Well, I woke up the next morning at like 6 a.m. and I'm scrolling through my Facebook feed, and I see he checked in at 4 a.m. at Phil's Steaks.
Good guy, man. Just for that, I'll probably go there after this.
It must not be because at about 4 o'clock in the afternoon, he started issuing apologies to anybody he offended in the last 24 hours.
That's just how it goes, man. And Phillips is great. Phillips is one of my favorites. And I know the family and stuff, and I knew him when I was a kid. And one of my old boyfriend's mother used to work there. So she's the one that got me hooked because, of course, growing up in South Philly, I had 3 boyfriends named Mario. One of the Mario's moms used to work there. So I would go all the time, and she would give us steaks, and we were just, like, so happy.
That is so
I think
funny.
that's how I got addicted, yeah. What other questions?
Oh, from those little things, I was going to say, tasty cakes or Terminies?
Ooh, that's a tough one. As I'm looking at Terminies right now.
Yeah, how about that? Go get some Pistol.
Strange, right? I have to go tasty cake, I guess, because it's. But then I used to get those cannolis walking home from 12th and Wharf every night.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know. It's a tough one. That's a toss-up.
How about Kasha's tomato pie or Lorenzo's pizza?
I go with Kasha's. That's my neighborhood-ish.
Nice. I like the pizza pizzazz myself from them.
Oh, yeah. I hope.
How about Federal Pretzel or Philly Pretzel Factory?
Federal all day, every day.
Absolutely.
No offense to them, but Federal. Yeah. And you know what? I just said that to my mom. She goes, it's so hard to find them now, so you got to go to 7-Eleven on Broad and Wolf, and they have them.
It's funny, like, my grandparents actually grew up a couple doors away. They lived there, a couple doors away from Federal Pretzel. So as a little kid, I used to always get Federal Pretzel. And then my uncle worked there for years, so we always had Federal Pretzel.
It's funny because my mom was going to send them to Virginia for somebody was getting married in my family, and she was like, "Oh, I'll send pretzels. You know, they love pretzels." and it was like $25 for the box, and then like $300 to ship or something ridiculous. Like, I mean, I'm exaggerating a little bit, but she was like, "Are you kidding?" Like, it was nearly double what it cost to ship it. But that's how hard they are to kind of preserve because they're so fresh.
Wow.
Well,
the last one I had out of that little questionnaire, even though you're not Italian, but sauce or gravy?
Gravy, and I'm Italian through injection.
How about that?
3 Marios. The new guy's Italian. I found an Italian Jew in L.A. You know, that's how it goes.
There you go.
But I always say gravy, and he goes, "Don't you mean sauce?" And I go, "You grew up in L.A. You're not even allowed to talk."
You know, it's
always
funny because every time we get somebody on here that's, you know, that we know is Italian, like, I have to ask. I said, you know, because like I'm curious. I'm like, sauce or gravy? The funniest one was we had Mario Andretti on, and he was he was like so adamant. No, it's a salsa. It's no gravy. It's a salsa. I'm like, Mario, it's gravy. No, it's a salsa. He kept going.
Does he make it with meat in it? Does he put pork in it? Because if you put meat, it becomes gravy.
Right.
That's the whole thing. Yeah. So the thing is, that's what they put. Unless you make marinara sauce, then that's different, and it's just tomato. Then that's Yeah. But we still refer to it as macaroni and gravy.
Absolutely. That's too funny. Now, you going into the world of comedy, I mean, you originally wanted to be an actor. Like, how did you make the jump?
To be honest, it's been a little over 7 years now, and my best friend, very funny Latin comic named, Latin is a fancy way of saying Mexican comic named Freddie Soto, he passed away. And he and a lot of other comics would tell me, "You have to get into stand-up. You should be doing stand-up, blah, blah, blah." And I just would be like, yeah, no. And I wouldn't never listen, you know, because I said stand-up is a lonely business. You know, one of my dearest friends in the world also is Dom Irera, who was like, "Why don't you do," another South Philly guy, "why don't you do stand-up? Why don't you do stand-up?" And I said, it's lonely. It's a lonely business. And the only one that would ever tell me truthfully was Dom. And he would say, "You're right. It's lonely. You're always on the road, and it's this." But everybody else was like, "You're so funny. You should do stand-up." And then when Freddie passed away, I don't know what came over me. It was like a little bit after, maybe a year and a half after, I started doing a one-person show. And then like I was just telling stories about my family and stuff. And then Dice came with his new girlfriend at the time. I think I set him up with her. Anyway, you know, that's how creepy it was. They were like, "Wait, we're going to see your ex-fiancé do what?" So he came to the show, and he's like, "Yeah, that's stand-up. You're doing stand-up." And I'm like, "No, you're a stand-up. Dom Irera is a stand-up. Bill Burr's a stand-up. I'm a jackass. I'm just telling stories. You know, I'm not a stand-up." And he was like, "Just come on the road with me, and we'll promote." The VH1 show had just started airing, I think. I think it had just started. And so we went. I was like, I can't go from 6 people in the belly room of the Comedy Store to 2,500 people at the Wells Fargo Center in Santa Rosa, California. And he was like, "Yes, you can." And we did. And I did. And it's been the craziest ride ever since. I still haven't finished my one-woman show because I just got so into the stand-up that I just, you know, it was funny because we did a couple places in California, and there was some big places. And then we went to New York, and we did Westbury Music Hall, Fair, whatever it's called, on Long Island. Do you know that place? It's like a theater in the round.
Okay.
It's giant. I think it's it's giant for a comic. You know, it's 2,000 seats or 2,500 seats. And the thing is, everybody's around you, you know. So you got people the front, the side, the back. And Andrew it's our show, our VH1 show had already been done, you know, by this point. Like it was over. We weren't getting it we were never going to be on it again, whatever. We weren't going to pick it up or anything. So we get to New York, and he put 2 veteran comics out before me. Then we took a 15-minute intermission, and then I was supposed to go out for like 6 minutes or 8 minutes, whatever it was, because I was only doing stand-up 3 months at this point. So I'm on there, and I remember I had this cute little top on with a little half bra trying to make me look like a girl, and I was on stage, and as soon as I said I'm from Philly, they were like, boo, F you, Philly State, fuck the Eagles, and I'm like, oh, man. So I kind of like ripped a few people apart with, whatever, my mouth talking shit. And then it was too many people, and they all started booing me. And I was sweating so much that the half bra started to slip down. So it was now on my stomach. So it looks like I have stomach tumors, and I'm ready to have a heart attack. But I stayed out there because my sister drove all the way up from South Philly to see me. And I remember at one point, when they were booing so bad, boo, boo, whatever. And my sister stood up and looked at me like, what do you want to do? Want to fight this whole room? We'll fight everybody in here. And it made me giggle and catch myself. And then I got off, and Andrew was like, F them, I'm not going out there. They boo you. They have no respect. And I'm like, are you crazy? They came to see you. They don't want to see me, So
right.
I was like, you have to go out there. He's like, I'm not going out there, those pieces of shit. And I'm like, you have to. And then I talk him into going out there. He goes, you're right. I go, who cares what they did to me? Who cares? I'll never see them again, And he went on stage. As soon as he went on stage, I locked myself in the dressing room. I fell to the floor. I called my mother, hysterical. I was like, oh, my God, you don't know what happened? She was like, calm down. And then my brother got on the phone. He's like, hey, they booed Cyndi Lauper, man. Who cares? They boo everybody. You'll just go on tomorrow night. Who cares about that? And I was like, oh, okay. But it was like getting raped your first time out of the box. You're like, Jesus Christ, this is awful. Like, who would stay with it? But I stayed with it, and I've been back to Long Island a lot. I'll be there Saturday and Sunday just to prove those little shits wrong. It's been wild.
Yeah, I mean, doing stand-up, it's got to be tough. It's something. It's funny because I always thought to myself, like, yeah, I think I could do that, but I'm just like, I don't have the balls to try that. No, thank you. It was easier getting hit with a chair in the head or something. You know what I mean?
That's how I feel. That's what I'm saying. I think it would be sadder that it ended up as I'm a comic because it's so awful. It's so awful. It's so hard. Stand up. I mean, and I love it. But it's some kind of ridiculous abusive relationship that I have with myself. That I go up on stage, and if you're on stage and you're having a bad set, you feel like getting off and cutting. You're like, I'll just cut myself because I feel like shit. And then if you're not on stage, you feel like killing yourself. Like, what is this? Like, these are 2 negative feelings. Why do I like this? But then, like, you have those shows that just are so rewarding, or people come up to you and say, hey, you made my life or my day better,
Right.
Everybody's always got it worse.
How about, I was going to say, have you heard, like, Jenny McCarthy's doing the new thing now. She's doing like a whole dirty, sexy, funny, and she's taking female comedians out. And actually, I saw them. I guess it was like 2 months ago when they started the tour. They came to Philly, and I went and checked it out. And I mean, it was a great night, great nonstop laughs. And I thought to myself, you would be somebody that would fit perfect in with that crew.
Yeah, it's funny. Tammy Pascatelli is a dear friend of mine and very funny girl on the show. Also, Paula Bell, phenomenal comics, both of them.
I got to say, Paula Bell almost gave me a freaking heart attack.
She is so funny, right?
Hysterical.
And and I knew her when I was a waitress at the store. And she would be doing the Tonight Show and all these different things, and it's like nobody noticed. And I go, how are they not noticing this girl? She is so funny. And it's strange what people like and what people don't, Then she did Last Comic Standing, and I'm so happy that she's on this because she really is a talent. She really is funny, and I hope it gets bigger and bigger. Even the young girl that I think she opens it or hosts it. Oh no, Jenny hosts it. But Justine Marino. Justine.
Yeah.
I know Justine too. Yeah. I don't know the other girls. I think they're New Yorkers.
Yeah.
New York comics that I didn't know. The one with the big boobs, but she's funny too.
Right. Yeah. I mean, it was a great show.
I can't think of her
Lynn
name.
Copeland.
Copeland. Right. Yeah, she's funny too, and it's just like, and everybody says that, oh, isn't it sad that women aren't funny? I go, what women are you with, or what women are you watching? Because some of my favorites are women. Judy Gold's one of the best in the business. Amy Schumer, like, these are killer comics. What are you talking about? It's just,
it was funny.
Funny's funny. It doesn't matter what kind of package it comes in. Funny's funny.
We had Tammy on the show, and we had Paul on the show when they were coming here to promote the show.
That's great.
Paula, the whole week leading up to the show, she was either calling me or texting me, and she was just like, I'm at the bar, I'm playing poker, do you want to do the interview now? I'm like, no. She's like, all right, send me a dick picture. I'm like, what? She's like, send me a dick picture. Yeah, you're like,
wait, what? She's so fucking funny, yeah.
I'm like, all right, I'm going to send you a dick picture. And I sent her a picture of Dick Van Patten.
Good for you. Good for you. That probably made her fall down laughing. Good for her. That's funny. Yeah, because she's great, man. And I just think she's terrific. And I love that they're doing this serious radio thing. I hope that lasts. I did audition for that a long time ago. It was supposed to be like a TV show thing, and I remember I went on real late, and everybody was so tired, and they must have seen 30 girls that night, and I feel like her whole camp left, and I was like, fuck, I really wanted to be part of that. But it was like 4 years ago. It was a while ago because I remember when it started, I was like, oh, now they're doing it? God, that was a long time ago. You know what I mean? Like,
wow.
So I don't know if they re-showcase certain people or, you know what I mean? But like I said, I was thrilled for Tammy, so. And Paula, and Justine. Like, Justine was, when I started doing stand-up, I would host a lot at the Comedy Store, and I used to bring her up all the time. I call her Cupcakes. That's my nickname for her. She's adorable. She really is adorable.
Funny.
So.
Yeah, she called us from the airport
show.
and she did her interview from the airport. She was like changing planes, and she was just hollering all this crazy stuff. Like, it was actually part of her act, and she was just hollering all this stuff. And she's like, "All right, I gotta go. Hurry up! They're stealing my luggage. Goodbye." And she hung up. I was like, "Oh, all right, goodbye."
She's such a kook, yeah. I like her a lot. And I'm thrilled for that tour. I mean, again, more the merrier, man. I think funny's funny, and if everywhere you go, if the shows are good, it makes people want to come out to see comedy. If they see shitty shows, then they don't want to come out, you know? They're like, I'm not wasting my money. $1 is so precious these days that people only spend it when they really feel it's going to count, you know?
Right.
Everybody wants more for their money, so.
I know Nick, he was talking earlier on, I know he's going to want to ask you. Nick, about Entourage, with where she played Dice's wife on Entourage?
Yeah.
Yeah, I was telling Bay.
You what? Oh, sorry, he went away. Did you fall underwater, Nick? Where'd you go?
No, I said I was just telling Bay about it before the show started.
Yeah, that was fun. That was I think he did the final season 8, and I had auditioned to play his wife, which was sad. We got it. I got it, and we had so much fun that day filming, and we ad-libbed and added so much. But poor Doug Ellen, the creator of Entourage, he has so much to work with because. Amazingly, Dice is so good at like adding, ad-libbing and stuff like that he didn't know where to pull from. You know what I mean? Like, so it's only a half-hour show. I mean, if he did behind the scenes, he could have a whole nother 2 years with all the shit that Dice gave him. And so I just was so honored to even be part of it. And then when it aired, I go, that's it? That's all they aired? But he has a half hour to put, he has a half hour to put all this in,
That's really funny. Yeah, and really like 22 minutes.
Right. So it's like, yeah, I mean, and Andrew's like, why'd they cut that out? I'm like, he had to. I mean, where is he going to put it? How's he? Yes, you could put it in the movie, maybe. But Dice is in the movie. I am not in the movie, but he is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, he does 2 days, so it's really good. The movie's supposed to be really good. I can't wait for it to come out.
So when you do things like that, I mean, does that bring you back to like your true passion of acting and like give you that bug where you want to go back to try acting again, or?
Oh yeah, I never want to not act. I want to do that a lot. I've done a ton of little things that never came out or never got fully made, or we've done sizzle. They're called like sizzle reels or pilots or things like that never get out there. But I would love to have that. Like ultimately, I wrote a show about my family, and I'm dying to have that on. I mean, of course, I wouldn't be able to. I'd love to play myself, but I don't think they'd let me. It's funny. Everybody I send it to, they go, "Who do you see playing you?" I go, "What? What about me?" Yeah, that's not going to work out, So whatever, it is what it is. But I'm still pushing for that kind of thing. Absolutely, yeah. And then I had a show, was it last year, with Dice again, and it didn't go. We wound up not going because it's whatever, politics, we'll call it. Let's just say that. But there's so many. But that's what I want to do too, because that also helps with your road stuff.
Sure.
People come out because they know you from a show or from a this or from a that.
Yeah, it's like the one show on TV that we're big fans of, and had a lot of the guys on the show, and they were just here actually in Philly doing their stand-up, Sullivan and Son.
Oh, sure. Well, all of my dear friends, Ahmed, Steve Byrne, Benjamin, great guys. And I even love, what's his name? We make him play softball all the time. What's the black guy's name?
Roy.
Roy
Wood. Yeah.
Yeah, he plays. We make him play on the Comedy Store softball team.
Oh, right.
Yeah. It's funny. He's like, they won't even give me spots here, and I'm on the team. I go, well, I'll fix that. We'll get you some spots, Roy. Because they didn't know him because he was from New York, And then when he got the job, it's like, and Ahmed is terrific and knows everybody at the Comedy Store. So I was surprised that they kind of skipped over him, even though Ahmed pushed for him. But then Steve Byrne, we all started pushing for him, and he got in.
Nice.
But it did take a while, which is annoying.
Yeah, they were.
But
just
I love
Philly
them. Yeah, they're
2
great.
weeks ago. And
they were there 2 weeks ago? Oh, that's
2 weeks ago, they were at the Troc, and the crowd was shit. I felt so bad for them.
Oh, don't you hate that?
It was bad, and I mean they kept acknowledging it throughout the night. Like each one of those sets, it must have been a 48 ticket sale night because the number kept getting thrown out from the stage that the 48 people here. So
it was dead like that? Oh no.
Oh yeah, it was bad. It was bad. It was bad. I felt so bad for them.
Oh no, that sucks.
Yep.
Well, hey man, that's the problem with live shit. It's hit or miss, and
yeah.
I think their show's great. I think their show's. Yeah, I enjoy it. Maybe I'm biased. I don't know. Because they're all Comedy Store people, so it's kind of like a dysfunctional family.
Right.
That we have in LA, and they're all, I mean, with the exception of Owen, they all work at the store. And now Roy has been for the past couple of years because of the show. But Owen just is more of an improv guy. He likes working there. but he still hangs at the store, So it's like we know him from like that way. And yeah, so it's like sad. You want to root for it. You want it to be big. Even Undateable. Do you watch that one?
No.
Those guys are all comics, and they tour too.
Yeah.
Chris D'Elia, Ron Funches. God, he's so funny. Brett Morin, another guy, he's terrific. And Rick Glassman. They're all comics. Yeah.
Undateable was one of the best new comedies of the year, and those guys are hilarious.
Yeah, they've been on the road pushing right now. That's what they've been doing on The Office. And even the writers, they're all Comedy Store guys. That's why I'm like thrilled. Every one of them is Comedy Store people. Chris D'Elia, Brett Morin. Am I saying his name right? Brett Morin. He's from Connecticut. I like to tease him that he has money. But he's so sweet. He's like, no, I have no money. I have nothing.
That's funny.
Yeah, but they're all such great guys. Rick Glassman, and they tour too. I think they were just here a little bit ago. Yeah, because my niece wanted to meet them, and she was living in L.A. in May or something. They were here. I don't know where they played though. But yeah, those guys are killer.
It's like a giant circle. The whole comedy scene.
It really is. It's a tiny circle, actually, but they make a lot of noise. Because we all want out. We just want happiness. We can't find it. You can find it here in South Philly. You got to see this guy's outfit in front of me. Oh, boy, look at that, huh? Looks like Huckleberry Finn. He's going to get his ass kicked in this neighborhood.
Oh, boy.
You better roll your pants down there, tough guy. I'm still sitting in the parking lot. It's hilarious.
That is too funny.
Outside of play, too. Chicky and Pete.
Outside of Did you get crab fries while you were there, at least?
I was just going to say I'm going to go get crab fries.
Nice.
Yeah.
All right, well, let's...
The Phillies game just ended, didn't it? Did it just end right now?
Take cover then.
Sure. They're not allowed in this neighborhood. There's cops everywhere. There's a paddy wagon right there. This is Packer Park. This is the suburbs of South Philly.
Yeah, right. It's amazing how they built that little town over there, over in Packer Park, and they charge like $500,000 for a house now.
In the meantime, Chicky and Pete's used to be a supermarket called Super Fresh, and we used to rob it crazy. Steal cigarettes, and whatever the most expensive thing you could steal, you won. So I would steal cigarettes. Isn't she smart? What a charmer. You
are a charmer. It's the Easy Rider in you.
See that? Easy Rider had that move, too, the pelvic thrust. Oh, boy, she was wild.
Well, you got a bunch of dates coming up. And we don't mean with Mario. We mean comedy dates.
Yes, I do. Well, this weekend we're at the Golden Nugget in Atlantic City tomorrow night. I believe that's sold out. And then Governor's in Long Island, I'm sure is sold out too because that's a tiny venue, but that's a great club. And then we go back to Vegas. I go back to Vegas at the Hard Rock Hotel. And then in September I'm shooting a special where Dice is going to be the host, and he features 4 comics, and I'm one of them. So I'm excited about that for Showtime. And, and then we're in Australia for 3 weeks in October.
Yeah, I saw that. I mean, is that the first time you've, gone out of the country, or?
Yes. One time I left the country for 24 hours with Dice, and we went to Vancouver. I'd never been, out of the country. Well, I was out of the country one time with the owner of the Comedy Store right before that to get stem cell injections. That's a whole nother story. Anyway, we were in, we went to the Dominican Republic. Please, my nerves. I thought I was going to jail. The policia were everywhere. So then I went, right after that, I went to Vancouver with Dice. It was less than 24 hours. Actually had to get a note saying why we were there for less than 24 hours. And everything was kind of confusing, going through customs and everything. And I remember we went through hell getting into Vancouver because Dice packed his passport. It was like a whole nightmare. And we finally get out, and as soon as we get out, we're in the car back to the hotel, and everything is written in Chinese. I'm like, holy shit, we went to the wrong country. We went to China. I was freaking out. McDonald's had Chinese writing under it. I go, what the fuck? Where are we? And then we got to the casino, and it was all Indians. But, like, not casino Indians, 7-Eleven Indians. It was a mess. I was like, we are lost. This is not, where are the blonde-haired, blue-eyed hockey players? What is happening? I'm very racist. I like it very much the way it's supposed to be. I was like, I think it's the witness protection plan for the entire world. It's the new Australia, Vancouver, if you will. They must send all their shit over there because it's every country represented, and not the good parts. It was wild there. It was wild. It was wild in Vancouver. I couldn't believe it. It was like Small World at Disneyland. Everybody was there.
Small World at Disneyland.
Freaked me the fuck out. But yeah, but it was cool. And then we got back to LAX. It was Halloween or something a couple of years ago. And we got back to LAX, and his car wouldn't start. So we were stuck at LAX for 8 hours. We've had some good trips.
That sounds like a complete nightmare.
And you're with your ex-fiance, so it's like even worse. You're like, oh, I thought I got out of this shit. I thought I could tag out. Take only the good parts and tag out.
Doesn't sound like it.
No, not always. But, yeah, he is a great guy, and it's been amazing. And like I said, I'm going to hopefully get this more stuff going, sell my own show, and then it'll be just the Eleanor tour, the Eleanor Kerrigan tour.
Absolutely. It's time.
That's where it needs to be. It's definitely time. It's almost February will be 8 years that I'm doing stand-up. So,
wow.
Yeah, it's not a long time, but it feels like a lifetime.
We have plenty more time to go, but it's now your time to shine and make that Eleanor tour yours.
Yes, because this feels like dog years, and I feel like I'm 1,000 years old. He's traveling like this, all crazy people. This guy sitting here with his nuts hanging out of his shorts right on a union roofing bench.
That's a good plug for
His balls
union
look like the chandelier hanging from the roof.
Oh,
sir, put those away. Nobody needs to see that. People are eating crab fries. Now they're sick.
Where do you think the seasoning came from?
His balls, definitely.
There you go.
He's been scratching for 10 minutes. So maybe he's out here. That's the grater. Yeah, that's what he's doing.
That's the secret cheese sauce for chicken beef crab fries.
Yeah. No Russian dressing here. This is all ethnic.
Oh, too funny.
It's all good. It's so sad.
Well, this has been a blast.
Yeah, you guys. I love your accent. I could bite your face, and that you're an easy rider. We're twins. I did not realize.
How about that? Yep. It's too funny.
I see my brother right there outside of play too, hitting on a young girl. That's a felony, John. No, that's a felony, Pumpkin. Mm-mm. Definitely not of age, but he doesn't care.
Oh, there you go.
That's how you met my brother Johnny, right? How did you meet Johnny?
Yeah,
Nick,
we
roast beef.
Ooh, there you go.
Johnny runs that in Springfield.
Oh, our good friend Frank. Yeah, because it's funny. My old co-host Frank, he called me up like 2 weeks ago. He's like, "Yo, I just met Eleanor Kerrigan's brother. Hit her up on Twitter." I was like, "All right." I said, I tried that. I tried that a couple times before, and she never answered me. He said, "Well, do it again." I said, "All right."
Because she sucks at social media. She grew up in a typewriter store, is what he failed to mention. It's hard to get on the internet on a Royal. You know what I mean? I'm hitting the shift key on an Underwood, and nothing's happening.
Yeah.
So you can't tweet that way. But yeah, I suck at social media. I'm getting better.
You got to work on that. It's huge.
Oh, I know. Trust me. Ask Anthony Cumia. Anything you do, you get fired, whatever, something like that. I'll get in trouble somehow, for sure, on here. With
but
my
that's
mouth.
The fun of it.
Yeah. He started a new show. Anthony from O&A.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. Yeah. Dice was his first guest. The first one, he explains what happened, and then the second one, Dice was his guest.
So,
he's doing it over the internet now too, right? It's just
something
the
like that.
Cumia
Yeah,
show, right?
it's over the internet.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I figured what's his name would have rolled too, and they would have stayed together.
Yeah, I think contractually they can't. So there's some kind of nonsense that they can't even say how they really feel, kind of thing. Because I know Norton very well, and Opie and them, and it just sucks. I don't know what, but I feel terrible that he got fired. Yeah, some of the things he said were harsh. Shouldn't have got fired.
Right.
So whatever.
Yeah,
He'll be all right.
You know what though, the internet, it's the way to go. I mean, this way he can say whatever, and I mean Adam Carolla, I mean he's revolutionizing this whole thing and really making it stand out. So.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. That's very good.
All right, well,
there's Brother Billy. Now let's see who's he hitting on. Oh boy, huh? All right. I gotta find my brothers. I gotta rally them up.
They're all hitting on them young South Philly girls.
That's true, because their wives are all at home, so they're having a blast. They're not being watched right now. They should be at home in their cages. I mean, houses. They're just like scurrying around. People are running from the Kerrigan boys.
Oh, that's funny.
Okay, well, this was amazing. I'm going to go back in there.
Thank you.
What happens.
It's been great.
Thank you for having me.
Hey, let me get you cut a quick ID, too, before you go, so I have it for future use.
Okay.
Whatever you want to say. Eleanor, this is Eleanor Kerrigan, and you're listening to Totally Driven Radio. And you can throw whatever you want to do to spice it up in there.
I'll try to spice it up. I'll put some crab fries on it.
Nice. There you go.
Right now, tell me when.
Go for it.
Hey, this is Eleanor Kerrigan, and you are listening to Totally Driven Radio. Is that right? Totally Driven Radio? Who the fuck knows? Who cares? All right. That's awful. Let's do it again. Is it Totally Driven Radio or entertainment?
Totally Driven Radio.
Radio. Oh, I was right the first time. All right, let's do it again. You ready?
Go ahead.
Hey, this is Eleanor Kerrigan, and you are listening to Totally Driven Radio. This is Easy Rider. That's Easy Rider. We ride easy.
Nice. There you go. I'm going to use both of them.
It's so gross. All right. You're awesome.
All right.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you guys soon.
Yep. Have a good one.
All right.
See
Thanks.
ya.
You too. Bye.
Bye. There she goes, everybody. South Philly's own Eleanor Kerrigan. If you're at Chicky and Pete's, stop and say hi. Buy her some crab fries. Better yet, buy her a lobster cheesesteak. That's really good. Did you ever have one of those, Nick?
No, man, I've never had one of those.
Cheesesteak with hunks of lobster meat in it, drizzled with the Chicky and Pete's cheese sauce.
Now, does it still have like the beef in it?
Oh yeah. It's got regular the cheesesteak meat. Yeah.
Oh, okay. So it's beef just mixed in with chunks of lobster.
Yes, sir.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret here, bro. Despite the fact that I grew up there and was there a majority of my life, I've never been to Chicky and Pete's.
Really?
Never once.
Wow. You really got to get back to Philly, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely. All right, here's what we're going to do.